Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It's a lovely morning today, sun's out, not too cold, about 6 degrees, so nice running conditions for a change. It was horrendous yesterday. And today it is Monday Motivation, so it's where we talk about all things productivity, motivation and stuff to kind of kickstart your week ahead. And today's topic is focus and the different types of focus and how they work together. So as always, if you like this video, please ensure you give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, focus and the different types and how that works together. Well, ultimately, this is a big one because so many people get this wrong. And it's not because they can't focus by any stretch, it's because they don't understand the different types of focus and how to get the most out of yourself when you're trying to focus on something that's super important. Because we all get those moments where something's really important, we're trying to focus on something and we just procrastinate, or we just can't get ourselves started. And I think that happens to most of us, if not all of us. And hopefully the content in this episode will kind of help you overcome that. So firstly, there are two main different types of focus that I'm going to talk about today. And the first one is purposeful focus, and the second one is scatter focus. Okay, so purposeful focus, scatter focus. And the key importance here is understanding the differences between the two and how they work with you. Now, the first thing to realise here is that this is very personal to you individually. I mean, the two different types of focus are fairly consistent across everybody. However, how you utilise them to get the best out of you is often very, very personable to and bespoke to who you are ultimately. So let's start with purposeful focus. It probably is pretty self-explanatory, but purposeful focus is where you're laser-like focused on achieving a specific goal. So you're very much focused on, it might be something super important to you in your business. It might be something like, oh no, I've got to do this tendering document for a big contract I'm trying to win, for example. That would require quite a high degree of purposeful focus to achieve that. And the thing with purposeful focus is you need to understand your capacity of purposeful focus. You can't, in an ideal world, we just go, right, purposeful focus for 90% of the day and we'd be the most productive people going. But you can't do that because you get mental fatigue and it's very, very strenuous on the mind staying in that state of purposeful focus. That's why you need to pick and choose when you use it and try and use it for the most important tasks. The ones that require the highest degree of complexity, the ones that need more brain power. This is the types of scenario that you'd want to put purposeful focus into play. Okay, so now on the flip side, scatter focus. Now scatter focus is equally as important as purposeful focus, and people don't seem to realise this. But scatter focus is when your mind's wandering, doing all sorts of different crazy and wacky things. Like today, I'm in scatter focus mode at the moment. I'm trying to deliver a decent vlog episode, but I'm also running. So my mind's thinking about my running, it's thinking about what I'm talking about in the vlog, it's thinking about holding this camera. My mind's kind of going in so many different areas at the moment, so it's not purposeful focus. If I was sitting flat in front of a camera, sat down, not any other way, and I was just focused on delivering the vlog episode, that would be purposeful focus. I'd be very focused on that. Whereas multitasking is another one, which is scatter focus. Now, people say, oh, my mind wanders, I can't focus on this. Everybody has a capacity for purposeful focus, and everybody has a capacity for scatter focus. And both are equally as important, but in very different ways. And I think this links then to your biological prime time, and I've talked about this a lot in the past, about understanding your energy levels. And when you understand where your energy levels are, there's a few hacks you can do to kind of pick up your energy levels, like caffeine, exercise, these types of things. But ultimately, you want to be using purposeful focus when your energy levels are high. Okay, so this is where it becomes very unique to you. You need to know when your energy levels are high, and hopefully there's a bit of a routine there to when you're generally feeling good and when you're generally feeling not so energetic. So try and use your purposeful focus when your energy levels are high and you get the most out of your purposeful focus periods. Secondly, try and ensure that at these periods you're working on your highest value stuff, highest value tasks, most important tasks. However you want to slice and dice it, but that's the time to do it. High energy levels, purposeful focus mode, high level of importance on the task that you're working on. Okay, that's generally how you want to get to. But scatter focus is equally important because that's where your creative mind comes alive. You know, that's why people say, I get the best ideas in the shower, I get the best ideas running out when I'm going for a run, I get the best ideas when I'm kind of washing the dishes. So scatter focus is so important because it gives you the ideas. You can often solve a lot of problems subconsciously in scatter focus mode. You don't need super high energy levels to do it, and to be honest with you, most people will generally have kind of 90% of their time will be scatter focus, 10% is purposeful focus, which is absolutely fine if you're using your purposeful focus time in the right way and you're using your scatter focus time in the way. I mean, some people talk about break schedules. What they mean by that is that they're trying to prolong their purposeful focus period. It's so much so that they're actually, you know, breaking it down into breaks where you can kind of, you know, switch into your scatter focus mind just to give your mind some rest before you then switch back on purposeful focus. So you can have purposeful focus multiple times throughout the day, but you're only ever going to have a capacity for how much purposeful focus you can use over a course of time, because you get mentally fatigued, and unless you're, you know, an ultra marathon mentally, if that makes sense, not physically, but if you can, you've got that kind of endurance level that's obscenely high for your mental ability, then some people will get a little bit more out of it than others, but that's probably because they've trained and perfected this process over the course of time. So hopefully this has been good and it's been a useful food for thought type experience. So if I was going to summarise this exercise, this episode, I would say number one, there's two main different types of focus: purposeful focus and scatter focus. Okay, understand the difference between the two. Purposeful focus is very focused, where you're focused on complex, highly important tasks. That's where purposeful focus comes into its own. Scatter focus is creativity. It's when your mind wanders. It's when you're multitasking. It's almost when you're on autopilot. Both are equally as important, but you only generally have a limited amount of purposeful focus that you can use throughout the day. So two, try and use your purposeful focus in line with your high energy levels and in line with your highest value tasks. Okay, that's how you're going to get the most out of your purposeful focus sections. And test and measure this stuff of when it works best to get the most out of it, and tweak until you find the optimal kind of routine for you on how you get the most out of your purposeful focus. Scatter focus is all about creativity, problem solving, ideas, and a lot of this stuff will happen kind of subconsciously when you're in these modes. So it's really, really important you understand the importance of scatter focus, because lots of people don't quite realise how important scatter focus is. You get some of your best ideas, the best solutions to problems can often be generated when you're in scatter focus mode, less so than when you're in purposeful focus mode. Purposeful focus, you generally overthink it or be too laser-like focus on the scenario at hand, whereas scatter focus, you'd be far more thinking outside the box. So, hope this has been useful. As always, if you have any questions for me on this stuff, drop me a comment, I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll still respond, but I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in with a more detailed opinion. If this isn't for you or it's irrelevant, just unfollow, no problem there at all. But do, before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Runpreneur, where all of the episodes, I think it's nearly 200 now, are catalogued nice and neatly in playlist order, so you can hopefully dip in and out on an ad hoc basis, which is a completely free resource, and hopefully something will help you at some point in the future. Also, make sure you join the Facebook Runpreneur group where all the free resources are hosted, and again, hopefully there'll be stuff that's going to help you at some point in the future and completely for free. So all that's left to say is the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs, business owners overcome the emotions of stress, anxiety and overwhelm by using exercise, and in my case running, as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these emotions that every single entrepreneur and business owner experiences. It can often be the difference between success and failure, how well that entrepreneur manages these emotions. The ones that do it well will kind of thrive under the pressure, take on more opportunities and move on to bigger and better things. The ones that don't will struggle with entrepreneurial pride, where they bottle everything up and they almost bury their heads in the sand, and then pressure builds and builds and builds, and then generally speaking one of two things will happen. One, the entrepreneur breaks down, or two, the business breaks down. And unfortunately either or is often terminal to the likelihood of your business lasting the test of time. Now, I'm super passionate about this because I've been there. I've lost businesses, had business partnership separations because of these reasons, and I've been rock bottom, and it's a horrendous place to be. And I finally feel now in my life I've got the balance right, I can handle things a lot better. And I've always said, morning, I've always said that if I can just help just one entrepreneur or one business owner, then this vlog has been 1,000,000% worthwhile. And my pledge to you is if you are one of these entrepreneurs struggling with entrepreneurial pride, just drop me a line, a message. There's absolutely no catch here whatsoever. I'm not going to be trying to sell you anything, get your email address or anything like that. Just drop me a line, we'll jump on a quick call, and I'll try and give you a few little hints and tips on what you can integrate into your life to kind of get back on the path of success. So that's my pledge to you. Many have already taken me up on this offer, and hopefully they'll be on a better path for it, so don't miss out. So that's it for me today. As always, if you like this video, please make sure you give it a subscribe and a like. If you want to watch similar content, please check out the playlist link below. And I'll end this, as always, with stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.